Good morning, students. So, I am here to help you regarding RBI Grade B examination. Okay, so I am come here with the Press Information Bureau. Okay, and this is the important section of RBI Grade B examination. So, I am here. So, let's begin today's session. These all part which I am going to read is very important regarding the PIBs and what are the new changes made by the government. Everything is written inside it. Okay, so let's begin today's session. So, about the new Income Tax Act to roll out on April 1 with only 54 forms for a smooth transition. Okay, so what's new? DOR has earmarked rupees 1200 crore in the fiscal year 27 budget for e-filing, portal upgrades, etc. So it said proceeding relating to tax years prior to April 1 will continue under the Income Tax Act 1961. Another point which says about the Pearl panel, we all know, I will highlight it, that we are continuing from April 1, the Income Tax Act 1961. We all follows this act, okay, and whatever the new rules and designs, whatever the thing which is provided by the government or released by the government are under this act, okay. So PAL panel under the rigorous stress and load testing of all IT system to handle expected surge in return. So these are the new three things, okay, inside today's budget. Okay, so e-filing is there, e-filing option, e-filing portal upgrades. Okay, and you are which suggested that there are earmarked of 1200 crore in fiscal year 27 budget. Okay, so this is the news. Let's read inside it. So Income Tax Act Department will roll out new Income Tax Act. So we all know Nirmala Sitharaman, our Finance Minister, she already said that the new budget, new Income Tax Act will be rolled out in 2025 from April 1 with only 54 on of the 190 form required under the new law. So operational initially to ensure a smooth transition, the remaining forms will be introduced in phases during financial year 26-27, fiscal year 27, according to the 30th report of the Standing Committee on Financial Table in both the houses of the Parliament on Thursday. So critical and time-sensitive requirement will be completed and made operational by the 31st March. The pertains to Form 54, which tells the remaining modification and refinement will be implemented in subsequent phases in fiscal year 27. Okay, so it depending upon the relevant statutory timeline, the Department of Revenue DOR said already that the submission of parliamentary panel chaired by Bharti Bhari Mahatab. Okay, so the department has already released the draft income tax rule 2026 for public comment on February 7 and indicates that the rule are likely to be notified by March, well before the statutory deadline of September 30. So Department of Revenue has earmarked 1200 crore in fiscal year 27 budget for ICT, information and communication technology. Upgrades to support the e-filing portal, income tax business application, ITBA. Okay, so where the candidates and the tax filers can able to file their tax through e-filing portals. Okay, they can able to submit their tax. Okay, so other platforms are there inside 2.2. And the transition to the new law will also require significant technological changes. The Department of Income Tax said the implementation involves development of new form and ruling utilities, changes in backend validation system, rules, engines, and computation logic, integration with departmental external IT information platform, okay, and all the services of income tax e-filing portal, both pre-login and post-login, are expected to be updated by April 1 to be reflected in the new legal framework to ensure continuity as ongoing case the DOR, Department of Revenue, said that the proceeding relating to tax year prior to April 1, 2026 will continue under the Income Tax Act 1961, while the tax year begin after the date will fall under the new law. So the parliamentary panel has called for rigorous stress and load testing of all IT system in advance to handle the expected surge in return. It also recommended a massive nationwide outreach campaign starting mid-March, utilizing 27 crore allocated for multimedia content in 12 languages, including 36 mega physical event targeting at salary taxpayers and small businesses. Okay, so this is the news, and whatever the changes that is made by the government on the new tax regime. Okay, so for the taxpayers and for small businesses, everything is written here. Okay, and there is important updates that the thing is that 1200 crore earmarked fiscal year budget for e-filing portal upgraded. Okay, and the important thing is that there are e-filing portals, and there is opening and closing, both the time periods are there. Okay, so this is the thing. Moving to the another. Okay, so retail inflation rose to 3.21% in February. Okay, the retail inflation, which is released by the NSO, National Statistics Office, or MOSPI in India, and it says that the inflation, जो महंगाई का दर है वो 3.21% फरवरी में बढ़ चुका है. ठीक है, these are the divisions where सबसे ज्यादा जो इन्फ्लेशन रेट वो देखा जा रहा है. ठीक है, नेशनल डिवीजन and division wise inflation rate. These are the percentage given here, and these are the data sourced from National Statistical Office. So the data given here is that the rise in inflation from 2.74% to 3.21%. Okay, and the rise is the higher food inflation and continued pressure on rising gold and silver prices according to NSO. ठीक है, this is data by NSO, and the CPI says that on 11-month high, when they compare the backend series and data released by NSO, the last time inflation on February was in April 2025 was print. February print was in April 25 when it stood as 3.33%. Okay, but this time in rural India, retail price edged higher with NSO reporting a 3.37%, leading to CPI compared with 2.73% in January. So urban retail inflation rose 3.02%, and Dipti Deshpande, principal economist in Crisis Limited, said she expected a CPI inflation rise 4.3% on average in financial year 26-27. Look at the percentage which is predicted by the Dipti Deshpande. Okay, just a sec. Okay, Dipti Deshpande is the predicted 4.3% on fiscal year 26-27. Fiscal year 26-27 means from 31st March, means 1 April 2026 to 31st March 2027. Okay, so food prices are expected to be winning, means बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ने वाला है. Okay, assuming that the food inflation is likely to continue normalizing from the fiscal slow, क्रूड ऑयल के प्राइसेस थोड़े बढ़ेंगे. ठीक है, और 70 से 80 डॉलर पर बैरल्स फिजिकल ईयर 27 में ये रहेंगे. ठीक है, so it is the backdrop of ongoing West Asia conflict. Due to this West Asia conflict which is going there in the world, and due to that the inflation is mainly rise, and on the first round effect of higher global price the added. So food inflation as measured by the Consumer Food Price Index CEPI, which rose to 3.47% in February from 2.13% in January, led by sharp rise in items like these are the items where there is a high and rise in price. Okay, like coconut and tomato, these are the products that is written here, and also recorded elevated inflation rate. In this product there is high inflation rate is showing there. Okay, so The combined house inflation, which now has a weight of 11.88% in the CPI compared to 10.07% in the previous series, came in at 2.12% versus 2.05% in January. And this revised series recalibrate item earlier clubbered into six group to 12 division. Okay, so only the transport division recorded inflation in February 0.05%. All other divisions registered positive inflation led by personal care and social protection at 19.64%. Okay, so this is the rate and this is the percentage which is predicted by the BP Deshpande. Okay. Mm. So excise duty on tobacco products it increased. Okay, in budget session we already heard that these products like tobacco and all, these product prices are going to be high. Okay, so excise duty just because of excise duty that is imposed by the government. So core inflation excluding volatile energy like energy and food is unchanged at 3.4% in February, says Sinha. एक्सक्लूडिंग प्रीसियस मेटल ये तो ऐसे भी बहुत हाईली है ही और इसका इन्फ्लेशन ऐसे भी इट्स इन टॉप लेवल इन दिस टाइम लाइक गोल्ड रेट इज 160 और 24 कैरेट ओके and this is the percentage of inflation and how they are highest inflation rate are facing by these states in India. Okay, at the month of February and January, February. Okay, so on the other hand, the economist says that the going forward rise crude oil price due to West Asia conflict. Okay, so this is the projection and this is the prediction that is made by the uh, our top educators and top economists. Okay, so this is the reason of high inflation. That's why the topic is about rise in inflation. So RBI ESMA Pact updated. Okay, so RBI ESMA Pact may need reboot if India's concern not resolved. So this is the points inside it. European Union regulators demand to audit Indian central counterparties books seen as extraterritorial. The recently signed agreement between the RBI and the European Securities Market (ESMA) and may have to be renegotiated. And this is the source told by the Business Standard. Okay, so this is the whole news of ESMA. So please read it. I will provide you the PDF of 3 sections which I discussed here. So thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.